YouTube, this is Vargas XX78, back again with a quick, at least I'm hoping it's going to be quick, collection pick-up video. Since I'm recording this immediately after recording my comic book pick-up video, I decided to go this route instead of, setting everything up and, putting my handsome face in the video. So instead of piling everything like I usually do, I'm going to try seeing if people like just a quick, again, hopefully quick video talking about some stuff that I've gotten this week. So if you like it, let me know, and I'll keep this format. If you want to keep it short but still want to see my handsome face, I can do that too. So let's get started. Picked up some CDs inspired by the great movie John 75. I wanted to, and I still want to, complete my Metallica collection. I love Metallica. Metallica is my favorite band. Unfortunately, I don't own all of their CDs, which is something that has bugged me for a long while. So I went to this store. They sell the CDs, DVDs, video games, but their prices tend to be a bit too much. However, for some reason, me and the wife and our daughter were there. I went into the store just, because we were making time, and lo and behold, they had a sale on CDs. So I went through what they had, and I came across this baby. This is the Metallica disc, where they played with the San Francisco Orchestra. I'm sorry, the San Francisco Symphony, because there's a difference, I guess. This comes with a story. For a long time I've been trying to look for the DVD of this concert. The reason why is because our neighbor and friend, he used to hang out a lot more with my brother before I became his friend, so he let him borrow his DVD with this concert, and we were watching it, and I was blown away at how awesome it was to hear Metallica with a with a whole symphony orchestra. And I thought it was pretty cool, and I've been actually looking for that DVD for a while, but haven't had the luck to find it. But I saw this disc. This is the audio 2 CD disc set of that concert, so I had to pick it up. And it has 2 discs with a bunch of their best songs. So I wanted it, I picked it up, and it is awesome. So I still have to track down that DVD. Next, I picked up the soundtrack for Through the Never. It's a Metallica movie that I'm actually also trying to track down. I don't own it, and that bugs me. But this is the soundtrack for that. And this is basically, much like this, a live recording of a concert that they did, playing their music. They have, well, this is not actually their song. This is the Ecstasy of Gold. This is a song taken from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But we have Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, which gave life to one of my favorite intros in the movie, the intro for Zombieland. Then we have Fuel, Ride the Lightning, One, The Memory Remains, Wherever I May Roam, Cyanide, Injustice for All, Master of Puppets, Battery, Nothing Else Matter, Enter Sandman, Hit the Lights, and Orion. This was recorded live. I actually have not heard this, but I want to pop it in and listen to this baby because I like me some Metallica. So I'm still missing a couple of Metallica discs, but I will work on it. Then I don't go into GameStops as often as I used to, mostly because I don't see the point, honestly, anymore of buying video games if I don't really have a chance to play them. Which, between work and, other responsibilities, my gaming time, unfortunately, has suffered quite a bit. But we went to the US, and I popped into a GameStop, looking at what they had, and they had this baby here called The Blob, which is actually a game that I've been meaning to buy for a while now, but it was there, and I finally decided it was time to get it. Basically what this is that an evil empire has removed color from the world, and this blobby creature called the Blob It is able to paint and bring color back into the world. So that's basically what you have to do. You have to ink yourself with color, and you go around rolling and painting the world. It's a really fun game. I got a chance to play it, and I've, again, been meaning to get it. Now I got it because it was $3, and it is pretty cool. Went to Movie Freak Bazaar, which is a movie seller that I frequent. He always has a nice selection, good prices. And it's thanks to him that I've been able to add some really key movies that I've been missing. So I picked up this week The Secret of the Wings, which is one of those Tinkerbell movies. I honestly don't know how many movies there are. I've bought for my daughter 3. The first one, one with pirates, and this one. And I think there's like 3 more. But I'm building for my daughter an animated movie library, so yeah, it's Tinkerbell. The animation's actually pretty good. And then this one, she finds out she has a sister, so yeah. Also, if you watch my videos, or have watched my videos for a while, you know I collect for specific actors, mostly actors that I grew up with. In the 80s and so on, and one of my favorite actors is Jackie Chan. I freaking love Jackie Chan. So I picked up Twin Dragons because you have Jackie Chan and Jackie Chan. It's basically Jackie Chan playing 2 characters. I technically already have this movie because I bought an 8 movie collection at a Target once that has 8 Chan movies. But I am notorious for double dipping, and yeah, I had to own the single disc version of this. But it's pretty cool. Any Jackie Chan movie is cool. Well, any Jackie Chan movie that stars Jackie Chan. Not like that Kung Fu Legend movie I picked up last time, but this one is Jackie Chan, and it is awesome. Also, I'm also known for buying crappy movies. I've mentioned this before. I grew up watching cheesy kung fu movies and action movies and stuff like that. So I'm a lot more lenient when it comes to a bad movie. Horror movies also, I enjoy the cheesy movies of old. But sometimes there are movies that are just clearly a cash grab, clearly just Hollywood trying to make money from a popular franchise, and that is the case with this. This is Hollywood trying to adapt poorly Dragon Ball, which is an amazing anime and manga series in Japan. I think we all grew up watching, at some point, Dragon Ball. I grew up watching Dragon Ball, which later turned to to Z, then it turned to GT, and then recently we had Dragon Ball Kai, and then we had Dragon Ball Super. And the thing I love about that series is that the characters actually grow up. Because as a comic book reader, the characters, for the most part, don't really grow up. Time works differently in the comic book world, and after a while it gets reset with a reboot or they do something. But Dragon Ball, Goku in Dragon Ball started as a kid, then turned into a teenager, then got married, became a father, and then his kids grew up and they had children, so he became a granddad. So I love the whole history with Dragon Ball. So it's a sacred series which I enjoy watching, even the reruns. And Hollywood decided to, well, let's bank on that and make a movie, but let's make it an American version with, just characters are name only, and let's pump it out. And this movie is bad. This is bad. It's a bad movie. It's Legend of Chun-Li bad. It's that last Airbender movie bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's an insult to Dragon Ball. But I like owning bad movies just so I can share them with other people and show them just how horrible a movie can be. And this is Dragon Ball Evolution, the C version, because, we have to make people believe that this is Dragon Ball Z. but basically just has a couple of special features. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, this movie is bad. But I'm a sucker for owning bad movies, and I picked it up. Another actor I like collecting for is Bruce Willis, and this movie is actually a remake of a I spaced out a Clint Eastwood movie, which in turn was a remake of an Akira Kurosawa movie, where it's this guy that it's playing two different gangs. So yeah, it's Bruce Willis. The disc unfortunately has a slight issue. One of the sides is missing a piece of the disc. Might have to return that. It's one of those double-sided discs. One side has the full screen, one side has the widescreen. But it's missing a good chunk here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's missing a piece. So I'll play it, and hopefully it'll work. If not, I've been buying movies from Movie Freak Bazaar for a while. I'm sure he'll trade it if it doesn't work. I already have this movie. I already have Ultraviolet. It's a movie starring Mila Jovovich. It's I think it's made by the same guy that did Equilibrium. And so that's Mila Jovovich in this dystopian future where she's like a vampire, and people are hunting down vampires. But she's trying to just survive. It's a very stylized movie. It's not by any means a good movie. In some parts, actually, doesn't really make sense because it's edited very weirdly. So I already have the theatrical cut, but again, I am notorious for double dipping on my movies, so I saw this unrated extended cut, and it doesn't really extend much. It only extends like 6 minutes of the film. But again, I'm a sucker for owning unrated and extended cuts. I have the extended cuts and the normal cuts of The Lord of the Rings, and last time I picked up 2 different cuts of Alexander, and I have a couple of cuts of, well, 2 cuts actually of Blade Runner, so I'm notorious for double dipping. So yeah, but get the unrated. It's still not a good movie, but again, I've mentioned I enjoy bad movies. But if you come across the unrated extended cut, buy that one instead. Stallone is another one of the actors that I like collecting for. I grew up watching Stallone. I enjoy, and for the most part, on most of the movies that he's in, just because of the fact that he's Stallone. He's always good in his roles, even if the movie itself is kind of crappy. And this one is Get Carter, which is actually a remake of an old movie, but now with Stallone. And I've actually never seen this one. But it does star Michael Caine, and Michael Caine was the original Carter in the original Get Carter, so he makes an appearance in this movie. But I've never actually seen this movie, so I picked it up. So I can't really say much about that one. What I can say about is this one. Now, I've been meaning for a while to pick up the Ernest movies. At the very least, Ernest Saves Christmas, the Ernest Halloween one, and Ernest Goes to Camp, and this one, Ernest Goes to Jail. Also saw the Ernest show when it aired. Thought it was funny, like, hey, Bird! And the movies, they're not good, honestly. But they're I don't believe in the guilty pleasure thing. If you enjoy a movie, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. But I enjoy the Ernest movies, and again, for the longest while I've been trying to, and I've been meaning to pick them up, but he had it cheap, so I picked up Ernest Goes to Jail. So I do want to track down the other 3 movies, but this is a ridiculous movie. It's actually all the Ernest movies are ridiculous, but those 4 in particular are the kind of ridiculous that I enjoy. So I want to pick the other 3 up. Also, don't make fun of me, but I like musicals. And this is a adaptation of a Broadway musical. But it has Rosario Dawson and I forgot her name. She's and it's also kind of really hard to pronounce. Idina Menzel. Just ask John Travolta, who butchered her name in the Oscars. But she was the Wicked Witch of the West in the Wicked Broadway musical, and she was the voice of Elsa in Frozen. So just because of that, I picked it up. I've never actually seen this movie or the Broadway musical, but I know it's a musical, and I kind of have a musical collection going. And it's a 2-disc set, so I'm a sucker for 2-disc sets. Also picked up Young Black Stallion. I have Black Stallion, but I don't know if this is supposed to be a prequel or a side story or just something else entirely. But this goes for my daughter's movie collection. My dad actually was a jockey. He actually raced horses. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. I think I did when I picked up Seabiscuit or Black Stallion or Black Beauty or Secretariat. My dad was a jockey. So this will be the movie, like all of those. This will be the movie that I watch with him and my daughter, and hopefully all three of us will enjoy it. So yeah. Also went to Walmart. They had a couple of movies on sale, and again, like I mentioned, I collect Stallone and I also collect Schwarzenegger, and this one has Stallone and Schwarzenegger. Stallone plays this guy that gets locked into prisons, which actually gave it a very similar feel to Lock Up, which is another Stallone movie that I need to get. But he breaks into prisons. He actually gets into prisons and then tries to break out of them to prove whether or not they're secure. Because he was a lawyer in this one, and some guy swore revenge on Stallone, and he got out and butchered his family. So ever since then, he does that thing where he gets sent to prisons and tries to bust his way out to prove that they're not failsafe. And in one of those, someone hires him but sends him into a black ops prison where they keep like political prisoners and people that are dangerous. And that's where he meets Schwarzenegger, and the two of them try to escape this super secret, sophisticated prison. It's a very good movie. I really enjoyed this movie a lot, so I had to own it, and it's cool. If you haven't seen it, you can buy the DVD on Walmart. It's $4, $3.75, I think. It's good. If you're a fan of Stallone and Schwarzenegger, you probably already have it, but it's a good movie, and it's $3.75. Hell yeah, I was gonna pick this baby up. And for my wife, I picked up The Intern, which is a movie starring Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway, where Anne Hathaway has this online fashion page, and she has this internship program where they hire senior people, and Robert De Niro is that people that they hire, so he becomes her assistant, and they form a bond. It's actually a good movie. I went in there not expecting much, but it's well acted, it's well directed, and it's a nice feel good movie. That's what it is. You're not gonna get offended. You're not gonna get. It's not an action movie. It's not even really a romantic movie. It's just a feel good movie, and from time to time, those movies are very cool too. The only movies I really avoid are, like I mentioned before, are the ones that people just go through shit through the whole movie, and then at the end they die or they get a quick happy ending. But they go through so much shit. I don't like those type of movies. But this is not that movie. This is just a nice feel good movie, which give it a chance and you'll watch it. It's well acted. It's very well acted. It has its funny moments, and I guess this movie got to me because I'm growing older, and eventually I'll be a senior citizen, so I hope that I can still feel useful somewhere down the line. And that's what this deals with, and it's a fun movie. So yeah, like I said, tried to kept this one as short as I could, but I love talking about movies. Like always, I like to recommend the movies, which I basically recommend all of them, but I'm going to recommend Escape Plan. If you're a child of the 80s, like myself, you are a huge Schwarzenegger and Stallone mark, and I am. So I can definitely recommend Escape Plan. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool to see Stallone and Schwarzenegger working together, and yeah, I'll recommend that movie. So let me know if you people like the format better. If you want me to do shorter videos instead of longer videos. If you would prefer for me to do this in like this, or if you want to see my handsome face and talk about the movies that way, let me know. But until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78 from the Vargas Vault, thanking you and signing out.